So I had this footage laying around of the plumbing incident back in November, and I thought, well, I'll put this together with some other videos I really don't have a place for into a little montage, a little bit of Christmas music in the background, and maybe me talking about what we had to do to overcome our plumbing incident. So I woke up. It was a beautiful day, beautiful Saturday afternoon, or Saturday morning. I had my live stream. My spouse complained that the water pressure was low, and I was just chalked that up to them doing construction in the area or whatever. I went and did the live stream, did the after party on Discord, and then came back out and was ready to go do some work on those solar panels outside. And as I was taking stuff out of our vehicle, I kept hearing water running. And I turned and looked, and sure enough, there's a big puddle of water right there where you see me working. And we have a spigot that comes out of the ground and provides water over there. Oddly enough, we've never used that spigot the whole time I've lived here. I just put it there. That's where our septic field is, just for like peace of mind. This time, and every time it seems to leak at this faucet, either it breaks off in the ground or something. And that's what happened in this case. So this time I said, the hell with it. We're pulling it out of the ground. We're not putting it back. Because we have no need. We have water right there in the corner of the house. So here I am mutzing around. Now the dirt we have here is clay. So when it gets wet, it turns into muck. And, of course, we shut the water off to do the plumbing repair, so I can't even wash off. Now, this little note where we went in and came back out, that was several hours apart. We had to go get parts and whatnot. And it just goes to show you this fat old guy can roll around in the dirt just as well as anyone else can. So, I had to get put to work. Now, normally, this is something I would hire out to a plumber because I really don't want to be laying on the ground, rolling around in the dirt, in the muck, in the mud, and ants eating me, and having to deal with a plumbing repair. But seeing what plumbers charge, and seeing as the plumber has the nicest house on the hill looking down on us, I decided not to send the plumber any more money, and instead to keep that money in my bank account and do a little labor rolling around, i.e. rolling around outside on the ground, which is what I'm doing. Fortunately, I had a good helper. My spouse was there with paper towels, keep me clean, and get some water to wash off my hands and my tools, because at this point I was actually laying on the ground, reaching into the hole in order to put this new pipe fitting on. And we got this off of Amazon, but it took several days to come in. So I fixed it not only once, but twice. And this was the final fix when we got the part in finally from Amazon. And the other fix lasted exactly 2 days before it sprung a leak. So now we're going in the house, and then several hours later, we come back out. I believe at this point we're going to turn the water on and check and see if it's leaking. We're just kind of looking at it now going, is it leaking? Is it dripping? Can't really tell because the mud is really the mud is really wet. The mud is really mud. Okay, whatever the hell that meant. Just kind of checking, tightening, making sure, don't want to have another leak. It's a pain in the rear end. I'd like to go in and take a nice hot shower and clean myself up. And good God, I'm realizing how long this video really is. And what's really annoying are those Christmas lights hanging down and kind of obstructing my view. I don't know what I was doing at this point. Something technical, I'm sure. Alright, so there we go. I'm headed out to turn the water. There's how far the water main is from that side of our house. So I turned the water main on, and I left one of the hose bibs on to build up pressure, or to relieve some of the pressure. And then I thought we'd turn that off slowly. That would put more pressure on the main pipe and see if it leaked. And lo and behold, this time she held. So here I am later, either in that day or the next day, and I wanted to get a trim in before the cold front came through. So this is what I'm doing here, is giving the yard a quick mow. I love that mower. There's my spouse coming behind me to mow the backyard with the push mower. I don't know what his obsession is with that push mower, but I tell him, hey, I just let me go back there with this one, and we'll mow with this one. Now, I just also wanted to tell you, here I am trying to untangle the Christmas lights that were taken off of the house, and the idea was we were going to take those down because they were white or yellow-white lights, and put those on the fence and then get new lights for around the house. So that's what we did. But unfortunately, it took me about an hour to untangle them. They were in it was the Gordian knot of lights. That's all I can tell you. And at one point, you'll just see my arms get so tired. I come back here onto the trash can that was my sorting area, and then I would stretch the lights out so they wouldn't get tangled again. And here I am, finally I am exhausted. I'm leaning on the trash can for moral and physical support, because I just don't think I can untangle any more lights. All told, it probably took me about an hour to untangle and string the lights up across the fence line. That's about 300 feet of fence we have, so it was quite an endeavor. But we got it done, and then we had lovely, pretty lights on the fence. They'll get us, these are already a year old. And of course, no Christmas lights would be complete without having to replace the lights on the deck yet again. It seems like when we first started putting lights up on our porch, you see we got our sticks. We know what we're doing, man. We don't mess around. But it seems the lights used to last 5 years on the deck, and then 3 years, and then a year. And now if they make it through the whole year, I'll be surprised. So these are a little bit more expensive LED lights, and I'm hoping they'll last, because we have some brutal summers here in Texas, and we leave these lights up year round. So we're going to give these a try this year and see how long they last. And but they were pretty once they got hung up. Now, of course, no lighting job would be complete. My spouse had a specific goal in mind for the lights to go around the house. They had to be multicolor LED. They had to be able to be programmed in different color schemes like red and green, blue and white, red, any number of iterations, and all these things. And I threw up my hands and said, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life on Amazon looking for said lights for under, 50 or 60 bucks. And I'll be damned if my spouse didn't go on there and find them himself. And so there was the ones we ordered. And this is my spouse was hanging at this time. I'm just basically there for moral support and to fetch and carry, because I cannot go up and down this ladder anymore. It makes me very dizzy. So it's not safe for me to be on the ladder. My spouse, however, took it up with gusto, and this year I bought my spouse some new gutter hooks. We have gutters around this house, as you can see, so I bought my spouse some new gutter hooks so we could get everything hung up and that the wind would not blow these lights down this year, because that's what happens. You get a cold front that'll come through, you get 40 or 50 mile an hour winds, and those little plastic hooks aren't made to hold anything. But so we'll see if these last longer or better. We just had another cold front come through the other day, and so we'll see if these last any longer period of time. What do you think? You wanna lay me odds that they will or they won't? We'll see. I mean, we get pretty strong winds. Now this is so I tasked my spouse with finding those lights, because he told me all his requirements, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to find those lights. Well, he found them. He also found them 330 feet, because that's how many we need to get around our house. and he found them for under $60. So, yeah, I'm impressed. It's not often I'm left speechless, but I was impressed. In fact, the lights I ordered initially were the wrong ones to add insult to injury. So I got a little bit of "I told you so" too from my spouse, in addition to the fact that he got the correct lights. So now I have to send said lights back. So we go all the way around. This is the back side of the house, just installing and humming Christmas music in the back of our minds, much like you're hearing now. And we just keep our heads down and get her done. And I got to tell you, after we got the lights installed, I was impressed. They're fully programmable. You can run them with a remote, or you can control them with the little control module up at on the end of the light set. But yeah, they're very handy. Work very well. There's a bunch of themes you can program into these lights and whatnot. And if I remember, I'll try to put the link down in the notes or the about section, so that y'all can take a look for yourselves and see what's going on. And now the hardest part is always this end of the house, because we're already 3 feet off the ground here on this porch. Yeah, I'd say 3 feet, maybe 4. So this is the high end of the house. So, and plus we have a porch there, as you can see, and it makes it a little hard. This year we decided to get these hooks that you screw these. You have to drill a small pilot hole, and you drill in these hooks, and it has a special bit for the drill. You put this bit in the end, and it's got a bit around a spade, or like a shank, a screw shank in one end, and it's got a loop in the other end meant to hold lights. And the idea is, even if the wind blows, it's not going to lift them out of this hook. And supposedly these are the last hooks you'll ever need, so we should not need to ever come back unless these lights completely burn out and take the lights out of these hooks. But it keeps the wind from blowing those lights out of those hooks. And that's what keeps, ultimately, the lights from getting damaged. So, and as light sets get more and more expensive every year, you don't want to have to be going up there and replacing them every dang year. At least that's our hope and our plan. And you can see our ladder needs here get a little sketchy. But that's why, if you're going to get on a ladder, always have someone to spot you, just in case, or to, something to land on softer than the ground, so they can avoid injuries if at all possible. And that's basically what we did. We had each other's back. So we're coming now to the end of this, the install. So I want to thank all of you that have made it through this 13 and a half minutes of absolutely boring nothingness. But it just goes to show you that Unky Joe can still do a little work. There was a solar panel I was moving out of my way. And another solar panel. And we're going to have another video on those solar panels. But we've come to the end of our light install, plumbing repair / yard work video. So we hope you found it entertaining and informative. As always, please give us a thumbs up down below if you liked the video. Leave your comments in the comments section. I hope all of you had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a lovely New Year. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with me while I did this video, and blessings to you and your family.